Hi, I'm Punong Guru Edgar Soliti. Today, we will be taking sword and dagger. In the Philippines, since it is an agricultural country, the sword is always being used by the people whenever they go to their farm. So it is being stuck here, and also it is being partnered by the dagger. So this is a good combination. So we, in the Philippines, we use different kinds of weapon, like the dagger, the sword, and the stick. So what we are going to study today is the sword and dagger. But instead of using the live blade, we just use the stick. So you can use the stick instead of the real sword. But remember that what we are using here is not a real knife. It is not sharp, okay? So when you practice at home, don't try to use the real one. Just use the dull one, okay? Now, this series of drills are good for both persons to train each other. So if you are teaching Kali or martial art, this is a good training for both of you and your students. So these drills are being made for both persons, not only that one person is being trained. So I'll be using Ron as my partner here. So if your opponent will strike number one, you can block with vertical block, then connect your arm to his arm like this. We call this cadena real, as you thrust to the body, okay? Then you hit the hand, then follow up with number one and number four to the left ear and right ear. Again, so this is a block to his strike, then you strike the ear as you thrust to the body, then you strike his hand, then follow up to the left ear and right ear. This thrust to the body, it also represents the punch like this, okay, as you strike. Then you do this one as a follow-up to the left ear and right ear, okay? So in order that both persons will be trained, what we will be doing, instead of hitting to the left ear and right ear, what we will be doing here is the contact with number one and number four with the stick to familiarize ourselves with the impact of the stick. Okay, so if you strike number one, I do like this, then I do this one, then one and four, okay? But it doesn't mean that you just hit the stick. You are visualizing that you are hitting the left ear and right ear. This can also be used as a block. If your opponent will strike number one, you can block, and number four, you can block like that. So again, if you strike number one, I do like this, as I thrust, then I connect, then I strike the hand, then one and four follow up. Now, in order for him to train, what we will be doing, I will do the feed and he will do the counter. So I strike, that one, then follow up to the head, okay? Then I will do the same. Then one, four. So if you strike number one, you block, then you do this one, then connect your arm to his arm as you strike his left hand, then you strike left ear, right ear. Now, in order to train himself, I will do the feeding. That one, and four. The purpose of this one, after you do like this, in case he will do it, follow-up strike, that's why you connect. You connect your arm, right arm, to his hand. Then you follow up with one and four. So I strike, that one, then one and four. You strike again. I do like this, connect, then one and four. These drills are very good, especially if you are training with your partner or your students. So both of you will be trained here. The next progression that we will be doing is this one. Here, follow up to the head, knee, and head. Again, so if you strike, you do like this, you thrust. As what I have said, it also represents the punch, like this, okay? So here, I do this one, then I strike the left ear, right knee, right ear as a follow-up. But in order to train, we just do a contact with the stick. But this represents the strike to the head, knee, and right ear. So here, I do like this, then head, knee, head. So for him to train, head, knee, head. Again, head, knee, head. You will notice that sometimes we move like this, or you can also do this one. You can squat, both of you. So in this training, both of you are training to hit the leg. But you can also do this kind of follow-up. So as he strikes to the leg, you can also do this one as you avoid your leg being hit, okay? So both of us can also move backward. So if he strike, I do like this one, then we move our foot backward in order not to be hit. So here, then here. Okay, so you can do it in a three ways. So you can squat together, or the other one will just squat as the other one will hit the leg. So if he squat, you move the leg backward, or both of you can move backward like this. So this is a training for both of you to avoid being hit in the leg. So the next progression that we will be doing, if he strike number one, I do like this. I connect my left arm. If this hand is not yet moving, you still have time to thrust. But if this one is already coming, don't try to thrust, but instead counter it with the left hand with a thrust, or you can slash. Then follow up to the left ear, right ear. So again, I do like this, here, then follow up left ear, right ear. But in order for us to train both together, we just contact with the stick. So here, I do like this, that one, then 1, 4. If you happen to see the essential stick skills that we have done before, this is number 1 and number 4, okay? So if he strike number 1, I do like this. As I thrust, then I connect my left arm, I thrust, then when he thrusts, I can counter using my left hand, then I thrust or I slash. Then I follow up with number 1 and number 4, okay? So again, I do like this. As I thrust, I connect, we call this sakai or right on top. Then I thrust, then when he thrusts, I can counter with the thrust or slash. And both of us will contact with 1 and 4. Now, in order for him to train, I will be the one to feed. So I strike, this one, then I thrust, then 1 and 4. Remember that sometimes you can use the left foot forward as you thrust, or you can just stay in this position, depending on your range. If you are already close enough, no need to step the leg, left foot forward. But if you are still farther, then you can step your left foot. Okay, that's why sometimes you will see me doing left foot forward, or sometimes I just use this one. It depends on the range. Okay, so if he strike again number 1, I do the cadena real. Then I do like this, I counter, then 1 and 4. So here, okay, then 1 and 4. So you will notice that when I thrust, and as he thrusts, I counter by sticking to his arm. In order to avoid being thrust, by his thrust, I just do like this. Then I follow up with left ear and right ear strike as we contact our stick with number 1 and number 4. Again, here, connect the left arm, there, 1 and 4. I strike, I thrust, 1 and 4. Okay. The next progression that we will be doing is we just put high-low high. So here, I do like this. As he thrust, I can follow up to the left ear, right knee, right ear. But in order for us to train, both of us, we just contact with the stick. Okay, so I strike, here I thrust, then high, low, high. He strike, I do this one, pack, there, 1, 2, 4. I thrust, 1, 2, 4, he strike, That 1, high, low, high. I thrust, 1, 2, and 4. So here, when he strike, I do this one. I connect my arm as I strike with number 4 as I thrust. So here, I connect my left arm as I thrust if I have still time, if the knife is not yet coming. So I can counter like this. I can thrust or I can slash, then follow up with 1, 2, and 4. The 1, 2, and 4 is going to the left ear, right knee, and right ear. Now, the next drill that we are going to do, instead of using the left arm to do the sakai or ride on, we'll be using the right arm. Okay, so this is the next drills that we are going to do. So if you strike number 1, I do like this, then connect with your left arm as you thrust, then thrust. I do this one as I hit the left ear. Then I can follow up with number 1 and number 4. The number 1 is to the left ear and right ear again. So if you strike, I do like this as I thrust. Then you connect your left arm as you thrust. As you thrust again, you do the hakbang paiwas. Remember the hakbang paiwas that we have done? So if you thrust, you can avoid at the same time you strike to the head using your right arm sakai. Sakai means ride on. That's a Tagalog word for ride on. So if you thrust number 10 or 5, then you counter with the right arm, then follow up to the left ear and right ear. So as what we have said, as we practice this one, both of us will be training this together. This is the laban laro ng Espada Y Daga, or the combative drills of sword and dagger, or stick and dagger. So strike number 1, I do like this, that 1, then follow up 1, 4. Now, in order for him to train, I will be the one to feed. So here, I thrust, then follow up 1 and 4. Now it's my turn. I thrust, I connect, I thrust, I counter 1 and 4. Again, I thrust, then both of us will strike 1 and 4. This 1 here, then 1 and 4 again. I thrust, then 1 and 4. So, we are learning the possibilities of counters here. So the first one that we have done is a counter using the left arm. So if the thrust is coming, you can use the left arm if you are favorable in using the left arm. But sometimes you are not favorable in using the left arm, but instead you are favorable in using the right arm. That's why we did the next progression. So if you thrust, you can counter using the right arm, at the same time you hit the left ear. Okay, again. So here I do like this, that 1, then follow up with number 1 and number 4. That is going to the left ear and right ear of your opponent. Now, my turn to strike. He will train himself by doing the same. Then 1 and 4. The next progression that we are going to do, we just add the high-low high. So this one, if he strike number 1, I do like this. I connect, he thrust. I follow up with number 1 to the left ear, knee, and right ear. Okay, again. So I do like this as I thrust. Connect, thrust, counter, follow up to the left ear, right knee, right ear. Again, so both of us can train like this. So I do like this, here, thrust, high, low, high. Here, I thrust, high, low, high. I do this one, high, low, high. I strike, then thrust, high, low, high. So that is the progression that we do. Now, the next drills that we are going to do is like this. If he strike number 1, I do the cadena real. As I thrust, connect the left arm, then he thrust, then I can thrust, then I follow up with number 1 and number 4, going to the left ear and right ear. This strike, the number 1 and number 4, or sometimes we call it ikis, is very simple but very effective. So here again, I do like this. Then I connect my left arm. If he thrusts, I counter. Then I thrust. Then both of us will counter with 1 and 4. Okay? So that we will be training together. So I strike, then he do the counter. This one, then here, 1 and 4. This is a very important exchange because this is being used in a freestyle. That's why we are doing these drills. So if you strike number 1, I do like this. Here, I counter with the thrust, then follow up with number 1 and number 4. It's my turn to feed. There, he thrust, I counter with the arm, then follow up with the number 1 and number 4. He strike, I do like this. Then here, I counter with thrust, then follow up with number 1, number 4. So here, I thrust, he thrust. I counter with the right arm as he thrust, at the same time, I hit the head. Then 1 and 4. Again, he strike number 1, I block with vertical block. I connect my right arm, I strike to the left ear as I thrust. I connect this one here, then he thrust, I counter with my arm, I thrust, then both of us will strike to the left ear and right ear. The next drills that we are going to do is we just put high, low, high. So almost the same, but the only difference is we just put the high, low, high. So here, that one, he thrust, I thrust, then I strike to the left ear, knee, and head. Okay, that's the high, low, high. So again, here, he thrust, I counter, then I follow up to the left ear, knee, and head. So in order for us to train together, we will do this one. Here, that one, then high, low, high. I strike, this one, then high, low, high, he strike. I do this one, pack, then here, then high, low, high. Now, we'll go to the next drill. I'll be using Luel as my partner here. So, if he strike number 1, I do like this, I connect, we are doing the same thing. But when he strike or thrust, I counter now my stick by hitting him in the hand and follow up to the left ear and right ear. Again, if he strike number 1, I counter like this, I thrust, as he thrust, I counter. Instead of using my arm, I am using now the stick. So this is the another possibility that you can do. So if he thrust with the knife, I can hit the hand, then follow up to the left ear and right ear. Now what we will be doing again, here, I do like this, he thrust, follow up to the left ear, right ear. In order for us to train together, we will be doing this one. So here, I do like this, he thrust, I strike, then 1 and 4. I strike, you do the cadena real, I thrust, hit the hand, then 1 and 4. Again, I do like this, as I thrust, connect, thrust, here, then 1 and 4. So in this distance, it's impossible to do like this. So you better strike the stick. So because this is the favorable weapon that you can use. But if you are in this distance, then you can use the right arm. But if you go to long range, then you can use the stick to strike his hand. You can strike the hand or you can strike the weapon or the knife. So again, so I do like this, here, then follow up with number 1 and number 4, okay? Again, so the number 1 and number 4 is a hit to the left ear and right ear, okay? So in order for us to train together, what we will do is we will be hitting the stick. But as what I have told you, that the number 1 and number 4 is a familiarization of the stick, with the impact of the stick, but it is going to the left ear and right ear. But you can also use it for blocking. So again, if he strike number 1, I do like this. Here, he thrust, that one, then 1 and 4. I strike, you do the same. Here, then 1 and 4. Again, I do like this. He thrust, I counter with the stick, then I follow up with number 1 and number 4. Then I strike, it is his turn, then he strike my hand, then follow up to the left ear and right ear. So here, if he strike number 1, you can also, instead of hitting the hand, you can hit the stick, then follow up with the left ear and right ear. So you can strike the hand or you can strike the weapon. Now we will do the high-low high. So if you strike number 1, I do like this, then high, low, high. Now it is his turn to counter. Then high, low, high, he strike. I do like this. Here, high, low, high. High, low, high. Now we will go to the next drill. I will be using Phil as my partner here. So this is called ikis, saksak with taub and tihaya, with X strikes with thrust, palm down and palm up. So if we strike number 1, we both strike number 4 here. Then 1, 4, we do like this. So here, when we contact with the stick like this is being followed by a thrust. Then instead of using this one, which is the real application for this, we just use this one in order to avoid injury, because some of you might have more power than the other person, so you might hit the eye, so this is very dangerous. So in order to be safe, we just do this one there instead of using that one. Okay, we just contact like this. So number 1 and number 4, you step left foot, then contact with number 4, then contact with the arm. Again, so this 1, 4, then we do like this, there. Don't be surprised if I say number 1 and number 4. If you know the Lameco 12 strikes, this is the number 4 in our 12 strikes, and this is a number 1. So that's why I said number 1 and number 4. For the rest, this is number 2. Okay, so again, 1, 4, you thrust, then you do like this. 1, 4, thrust, that 1. 1, 4, again, 1, 4, again. That's it. Okay. The other drills that you can do this with ice pick grip position. So here, the first thing that we will do is we slash using the handle first like this, then we thrust like that. So here, 1, 4, that's it. 1, 4. In reality, that is the application. But for training, we just do like this. Okay? Back again. 1 and 4 strike, we do like this. At 1. Again. Again. Here. Now we will go to the application of this drill. If he strike number 1, I could hit the hand. Then if he follow up with the thrust with this knife, I can hit. Then I thrust with my knife. I follow up with my stick. Then I thrust with my knife. Again. So I strike his hand. I strike his hand. I thrust. Then I follow up. Then I thrust like this. So this is the application of the hammer grip position. But if you are using the ice pick grip position, the application is like this. You hit the hand. Hit the hand. You can slash the hand if the hand is still there. Then you can follow up like this. Again. So here, strike the hand. Strike the hand with your stick. You can slash, follow up, then like this. Okay? Again. If you strike number 1, you hit his hand. If he thrust with his knife, you hit the arm. Then you slash. If the hand is still there, that can cut. Or you can do it to the body, follow up to the head or body, then you follow up with the knife. Okay? Again. So if you strike, I do like this, follow up with the knife, there, pat! Then you can follow up with any strike you want. The next variation that you can do is like this, with ice pick grip. So X strikes, follow up like this. Instead of meeting like this, you just hit the arm, then follow up with 1 and 4. That is going to the left ear and right ear. Again, so this is 1, 4. I do like this, then pack 1 and 4. Now, in order for him to train, I will be doing what he did. So X strikes, I do like this, that's it, then 1 and 4. Now, it's my turn to train. Here, I do like this, pack 1 and 4. So you can hit the arm by using your stick, or you can just counter the thrust by meeting your arm like that. Another variation, instead of using the left arm, you can use your stick to hit his arm, then you follow up with number 1 and number 4 to the left ear and right ear. The other variation that you can do with this, you can just add the high-low high. Now that we have studied the different drills, we can combine them together. Like for example, this one, if you strike number 1, I do like this, then I could use the left hand to counter, I can thrust, then follow up with X, then thrust like this. Okay? So it's also the same for him. Okay? I thrust, use the left arm, then we can do this one. If strike, I do like this. Here, that one, X strikes, then we can put this together. Okay? So again, if he strike number 1, I do the cadena real as I thrust. Connect the arm, I counter with the left arm, then we both do this one. Okay, so here, I thrust, then X strikes. Okay, here, I do like this, then 1, 4, then that's it. And you can also put this one using the arm, right arm, then X strikes. We do like this, okay? Then we put this one together. He strike, I do this one, here, then 1, 4, like this. Here, that's it. Then you can put this together. Okay? Now, we can also put that X strikes together with the thrust, combining the strike to the hand of your opponent. So here, we do like this. If you thrust, I do like that. Then X strikes here. That one, then X strike. Okay. The next drill that we are going to do, if you strike number 1, you can do the Sumbrada as you thrust to the chest. Then you can do the snake like this. If you thrust with the knife, you can counter, then thrust like this, then follow up to the left ear, right ear of your opponent. So again, so here, you do this one, then you counter, then follow up to the left ear and right ear. In your training, you have to remember this important thing. Don't try to aim the dagger towards your partner's face, or you will be hurting him. So what we will do, we just do like this, okay? So you go to the chest. So you circle your left hand, then counter with the left hand, then you follow up with number 1 and number 4. So in order that we will be training together, as what we have said, this drill is being done by both person. So I'll be doing the same thing. Here, I thrust. There, then we follow up with number 1 and number 4. You strike, I do the same. That one, I thrust, then 1 and 4. I strike. Here, that one, 1 and 4. Here, that's it, then 1 and 4. You notice that whenever feel strike number 1, I always go out, okay? So I do like this, that one. Then I strike with number 1 and number 4, okay? Because if you just stay here, you will be receiving all the blows. So in order not to be nailed down by his strike, you have to move. But this is a thrust. Then you snake, then you counter there. So you follow up with number 1 and number 4. Here, in order to train yourself with the counter, if you thrust like this, you also deflect it like that. Okay? So this is training for both of you. So instead of just allowing him to thrust you like that, you can counter by pushing his arm or left arm to the outside. But you are open to that stick. So both of you, as what I've said here, are training together. Okay? Again, so I do like this. Here, when I thrust, you can also deflect it. Then both of us will strike 1 and 4. I strike. Here, that 1. Then 1 and 4. So that is the Sumbrada with a thrust. You can also do this with the high-low high, as what we have previously done with the rest of the drills. So if you strike number 4, you can do the all the best. If you thrust, you can do like this. He can use the right arm as his counter, or he can use the stick as his counter. Then we can both follow up with the X strikes. If I strike, I do like this. I can counter the thrust by using the right arm, or I can use my stick to strike his hand or the knife. Then both of us can do the follow-up with X strikes. The follow-up can be done also with X and also with high-low high. Or you can also do this kind of follow-up as what we have studied a while ago. Okay, so as what I have said, you can follow up with X strikes, you can follow up with high-low high, or you can follow up with Ikis, with thrust, with palm down and palm up. Now we go to the next drill. Thrust number 8. There are 4 or more variations that we can do in this number 8 thrust. So if you thrust number 8, if you are in long range, you can do like this. If you are in this position, so sometimes we call this gunting or cruzada. So you use the knife to deflect the thrust away from your body as you strike the hand, okay? Then you strike to the left ear and right ear, okay? So again, if you thrust, number 8, I deflect using my knife, then I strike the hand, then I follow up to the left ear and right ear, okay? So in order for us to train together, we will just meeting with a stick like this. So as what I have said earlier, that the X strike can be used for hitting the left ear and right ear, or it can be used for the familiarization of the impact of the stick, or for blocking. Okay, so he thrust, number 8, I deflect it with the knife, then both of us will strike number 1 and number 4. Now it is my turn to thrust. He deflect it, then he strike number 1, number 4. Here, I do like this, 1 and 4, I thrust, then 1 and 4, you thrust, 1 and 4. If you are in long range. In long range, since the stick is longer, that's what we use, okay? It does not mean that you are using the dagger. You will always use the dagger all the time. It depends upon your range. If you are in long range, what you can do with your dagger, you can just use it for checking. But for thrusting, is not being used. You can use the dagger when you are in medium range to close range. So again, if you thrust number 8, I can do like this, then follow up with 1 and 4. Now I thrust, there, 1 and 4, okay? The next variation that we will be doing, if I am in this position, first, we are in this position, right? Now, if you are in this position and your opponent will thrust number 8, you can deflect using the left, then you do like that as he counter, then do the X strike, okay? Again, so if he thrusts, I do like this, then if he thrusts, I connect my arm to his arm as I counter. Then both of us will strike number 1 and number 4. Now I thrust, he countered, then he thrust, I counter like this, then I thrust, then he connect my arm. There, I thrust, that one here, then both of us striking number 1 and number 4. When he thrust, I do this counter, then I thrust, then here 1 and 4. As what I have said, you can also follow up with high, low, high in that drill, or you can follow up with this kind of movements. Okay, now the next variation that we are going to do, if he thrusts number 8 and you are favorable in going here, that's what you have to do. In order not to be thrust, you have to use the elbow as you counter his thrust. Then you see the opening, then you thrust with your knife. Then I do this one, then follow up with number 1 and number 4. Okay? Again, that is if you are favorable in going outside. So if the thrust is more wider, okay? So that's what you have to do. So in order to train yourself not to be cut or thrust here, so you have to drop this elbow. Now you see the opening, so you thrust. He counter it with the right arm, but he can also use it with hitting the stick like that. Okay? Then we follow up with number 1 and number 4. Again, if he thrust, I counter, drop the elbow. There. I could follow up with my counter with my right arm, or I can just strike with a stick. Okay? Then follow up with X strikes, or we can follow up with high low high like this, or we can follow up with this one. Okay. So again, if he thrust number 8, I can go like this. He thrust, I can counter with my right arm, or I can just counter with my stick. Then we can follow up with X strikes there. So if I thrust, there, that's it. Then 1 and 4. Again, he thrust, I counter, he drop, that 1 and 4. It is very important when your opponent or partner will thrust to you in your chest, it's better to do the hakbang paiwas. Because if your hand or arm make mistakes, if you were not able to counter it, at least you are far from your opponent. The next progression that we'll do, if the thrust is coming and you are favorable going inside, you can do like this. Okay? Then I thrust, he counter, then he thrust, I counter, then follow up with X strikes. Okay? I thrust, he right on, like that. Then he thrust, I do like this. Remember the left hand sakai or right on, then you can follow up with X strikes. Now, he thrust, I counter like this, then I thrust, he counter, then he thrust, I counter like this. Then you can follow up with X strikes. As what I have said, it can be follow up with X strikes or high low high, or you can follow up with this kind of movements. Now we go to thrust number 10. I'll be using Ron as my partner here again. So, if your opponent will thrust, you can counter it like this. Okay? So, you can slide like that. Okay? Then, if you strike number 1, cadena real as you strike. But as you thrust, he can drop the elbow so that he can counter it. Then, when I do the puño or butt strike, he counter it like this. Then he thrust. So, I counter it like that. So, I thrust, he slide it there, I counter. Then I strike number 1, he do the cadena real, then he thrust my lower side of the body, then he do this one. So if he thrust, this will be the application. If your opponent will thrust, that's what you do right away. Remember to retain the palm up position. Because if you do like this, there will be an energy that he will feel there that he can go up right away. But if you stay in this position, that will jump his thrust, and that's what you are going to do. That's you counter. Okay? So in order for him not to be hit by my thrust, he counter my thrust with his knife. Then he see the opening, I block, he strike my head, then I block his strike, then I do the cadena real. I see the opening in the lower body as I strike his head, but he dropped the elbow to counter it. Now, I do the puño. Then he counter. Then he thrust. In order to avoid being thrust by this knife, I have to do like this. Then he will thrust. I will thrust this one. Then I strike that one. here. So this drill is counter to counter. This is called sometimes the fraction. So if he thrust number 10, I do like this. He strike number 1, I do the cadena real. He drop the arm to counter my thrust. Then I do like this. I thrust number 10, I counter his thrust. Then he do the cadena real. Then I drop my arm. Then he do the punyo. I counter like that. So again, here, cadena real. Then I do the punyo. Okay, I thrust, cadena real. That's it. Then here. So this is very important, especially in close quarter. Okay. So again, we will do it slow. So I thrust. He countered. In order not to be thrust or hit by his thrust, I can counter it like this. Then I strike with number 1. Then he do the cadena real. So he see my opening here. So I drop this one. Then I do this one. Okay. Then he thrust number 10. I do like this. I do the cadena real. Then here. I thrust. That one. Here. That's it. The other variation that you can do, from here, I do like this. I do the punyo, then you can counter. Okay, you can follow up with number 1 or number 4 there. Or you can follow up with high-low high, or you can follow up with this one. Okay, second variation of this drill, I do like this. I do that one, then I do that one. Okay, so I thrust here, that one, then he counter. That's it. He thrust, I do this one, I do the cadena real, that one, I counter. Then I thrust here, I do this one, then he counter. Then I also stick my arm against his arm to prevent him from hitting me. So as you train these drills, by using the cadena real like this trains you in your sensitivity with your arm. So you can use this one or this one against number 1 when it comes to close quarter. You can use it right away. So this will be the product of your training by doing all the time this kind of training. So if your both hands are in low position and your opponent is going to strike with number 1, you can just immediately thrust right away. Okay? Or if he thrusts number 10, you can just counter by using your left arm. And that is what we've been training when we train the cadena real. That's why we always do that one. So that you can use it whether you have the stick there to defend or whether you don't have, or like this. Okay, so that is the byproduct of that, or what you can get from that training. Now we go to freestyle. I'll be using Phil as my partner here. We will just be doing slow for the safety of both partners and also for you to watch and learn it step by step. First, I'll be feeding Phil with my stick. Then I will feeding with the knife. Then I will do the counter to counter. So I won't be feeding with the knife. I will only be feeding with the stick. And he can use the knife too with the stick. So here, this is very important to build the timing. Okay? After this one, I can introduce by using the knife. Okay? So remember, number 3 and number 2, we don't change. If you have seen the essential sticks drills that we have done before, if we strike low line, we don't really block the low line. So if we strike the low line, we just go to the head right away instead of blocking like this. Since we do the footwork, we just move like this. You can hit the head or you can hit the hand. It is also the same in number 2. So you can hit the hand or you can hit the head. So don't be surprised if we strike low and we do this one, okay? So, now I'll be feeding with a stick and knife. As Phil will use the different counters that we have studied while ago. Okay, so here, okay, now I will try to counter his counter. So what we will do is slow first, okay? So you will notice that what we are doing is being done in what we have done in our drills. The drills that we have taken today are only small fraction for what you can possibly do. We have taken the major possible things that you can do when you do the Espada Y Daga or stick and dagger. I hope this tape will guide you in your training. Thank you very much. Maraming salamat.